begin audio recording October 26th, 1:49 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Adding Dorothy to the phone call in a moment. Stand by. Hello, Dorothy.
Yeah.
This is Joseph. How are you?
I'm fine.
So, with this phone call, I'm more interested in your own history, Dorothy. So, stories from when you were a kid about you and your parents and your friends and important things from the past.
Well, I'm just an ordinary stupid jerk, I guess. I don't know. I lived on the farm all my life.
Yeah.
I was born down in Iowa, just across the state line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how old I was when we moved up to Sherman, South Dakota.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember much about living up there, except one time I come in the house and slid across the floor and got a splinter in my butt.
Oh, ouch.
And my dad laid me across his lap and took it out.
Oh. A big one? A big splinter?
Well, I don't know how big it was, but it hurt, I think. He said I was crying. Oh, yes, and one other thing I remember up there was Aunt Alice was staying up with us. She said I started picking up chicken poop and eating it.
Oh.
Now, you don't want to put that in there. But that's all I remember about that farm. Then we moved to just north of Beaver Creek. And there was a family that lived right across the road from us. And they had 5 girls. There wasn't any boys. And I think that Mick and I must have lived over there most of the time because we'd get up in the morning and say, we're going over to Bierk's. Okay, we went. I don't think we ever gave them a chance to come over to our place because we was over there all the time. We had a lot of fun. They had a big sled. We'd go sliding in the wintertime in the snow. It's a lot of fun. In the summertime, we was over there playing all the time, hide and seek, making mud pies and what have you. Oh, yes, and in the wintertime, the snow would get deep and it would come up to the roof on their hog house. So we used to climb up to the top of the hog house and slide down the snow roof and then on the snowdrift down. That was fun. Then we moved south of Beaver. Then there wasn't any neighbor kids to play there, so we had to play just with ourselves. We had a lot of fun there, too. Mm-hmm. Then we moved north of Hills, and we had a lot of fun there. We had neighbor kids to play with, and in the summertime, played ball all the time. In the spring, they'd hurry up and get our chores done, and then we'd go out and play ball. Neighbor kids were down there all the time. We never got up there because they came down all the time. Then we moved to town. I don't know if we had any fun in town or not, but I suppose we did. Because then I started working out at the bank when we were living on the farm. I started a couple of years after I graduated, and I worked there for 30 years. And then Dad died when we were on the farm. No. He died when we were in town. Mom died in town when we were in town. And then Arnold moved into the village, and I moved in with him. And that's it.
Yes.
Now, wasn't that an exciting life?
I think so.
My folks sometimes would talk Norwegian when they didn't want us kids to know what they were talking about. Then we'd listen real careful because we knew we were supposed to know what it was.
Right.
But we never could figure it out anyhow, so it didn't make any difference.
Do you remember any key words in Norwegian?
You can count to 10.
Oh, there you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow.
And my grandma, when we stayed down at Grandma's, she was going to teach us Norwegian.
Uh-huh.
And so she was going to teach me the number. And every time I count her and I come to knee, I always say, knee high. And she'd say, no, that's not right. But then I would laugh because I thought that was a good joke. When she came from Norway,
yeah.
I don't know where she landed, but she came to Rock Rapids. When I was down there, I was always outside with the boys.
Yeah.
Going down there and helping them. You know, I was a big help with the boys out in the barn and round out there.
Yeah.
Always had to be out there. So the boys told me I had to change my name to Dorothy Mae Thorin Boyce. But my mother didn't think so. I had to be out there to see. I had to be out there to see that they fed the cows right, and the pigs right. Somebody had to tell them how to do it. When we get together for birthdays or anything, we'd always play cards of some kind, rook, old maid, some fun game, and we had more fun. We'd laugh and joke about it. We always had a good time when we got together. It's always going to. And then finally got so that Aunt Mabel would have Christmas, Mom and our family would have Thanksgiving, and Aunt Alice would have Easter, and then at Christmas we'd all go down there. Easter we went to Alice's, and Thanksgiving they all came to our place. And we have more fun. The boys, they were always willing to go out and play and do things with us. They played ball. They were always playing ball. They was always doing something. A bunch of kids. It was just like a bunch of kids playing.
Yeah.
The neighbor, our neighbor to the north of us, told Dad one time. He says, "You know, you guys all must get along pretty good together." And Dad says, "Yeah." Well, he says, "You're always together and laughing and that." So he thought we had to get along together. We did. Oh, they're all gone now.
Right.
Yeah, they're all gone now. Oh, and the time we got electric lights, that was a big deal.
When was that?
Well, oh golly, that was back in the 30s, I suppose. We were living in south of Beaver at the time. And the guy come and said they were going to put in electric lights. Boy, was that a deal the night we turned the switch on and there were lights in the house. Otherwise, we had nothing but lamps. Oh, gosh, I tell you, when we got lights, we were really living them. Good grief, we didn't have to carry lamps around anymore. And when they went down to the barn to milk, they didn't have to take the lantern. We had lights down there. That was called for a celebration.
How did you celebrate?
By reading by the lights that night. In that country school, we always walked to school. We walked through the neighbors' fields. It was shorter that way than going around the road. But in the fall and the spring, when it was nice weather, if we felt like it, we'd take the long way home, then we'd walk the road. The teacher had a lot to do because they always put on Christmas programs and they'd have Halloween parties and everything, and they had to do it all themselves. But it was fun.
Right,
I think I had a lot of fun going to country school. I lived a very quiet life. Yeah. When you lived in the country, you didn't get to town and goof off all the time with the kids. You didn't get mixed up with any gangs. Times were tough, but we never knew it. And I says we didn't have a modern house. We never had bathrooms. We never had running water. We had to haul our water from town, all our drinking water. and there wasn't any furnace in the house. So Dad would get up in the mornings when it was cold in the wintertime and start fires going so that it would be warm when we get up. We'd get up in the morning, get ready for school. We'd run downstairs, stick our feet in the oven of the stove to keep our feet warm while we were dressing. You know, it was a lot of fun. And we didn't know any different because we didn't know there was anything else. In the summertime, hard working out in the sun, shocking. Oh, gosh, that was hard work. Corn picking, pick it by hand. Then they used to go out and pick corn, feed the pigs. Then us kids would have to go out and pick up the cobs.
Oh, yeah.
Take in the house to burn in the stove.
Oh, that's what you'd burn in the stove in the wintertime?
Yeah. Well, we had wood, some coal, but those cobs were kind of nice to use them to start the fire with. We always thought it was kind of hard, but it was kind of fun. When you didn't know anybody, and I mean the neighbors were in the same situation as you were, so you didn't have to try to be better than them, and they weren't trying to be better than us because we all had the same situation. So it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, it makes you think today with how dependent people are on all their little modern conveniences that if the system ever got shut down somehow, people would be in a bad situation.
That's just like last April when we had that ice storm over here where we're living in the village. There was nothing we could do. We didn't have heat. We couldn't cook. We couldn't do anything. So they pushed us all over to the Tuff home where they had a generator, so they had lights and they could cook in that. And I said I wasn't going to go over and sleep there. I was coming over here to sleep. He said, you can't. I said, well, I'm going to. I'm not going to sleep over there. Well, then one of the girls that works here says, well, I could go down and sleep at their house. So I did that so I didn't have to sleep over there. But I wasn't going to sleep over there. I don't want to go through that again.
Right. Well, you should tell your management either to get a generator in or a silo full of corn cobs, because one or the other is going to...
That's right.
All right, Dorothy. We'll talk to you later.
Yep. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.